to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. This radio show is streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com. So those people who are tuned into the internet, please, come and listen to us like this. This is The Blank Canvas. I'm your host, John Cox, the curator from the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas, better known as the NAGB. On this show, we'll be saying NAGB a lot because National Art Gallery of the Bahamas just takes way too long to say. The theme of this show is the creative community. We'll be talking about different aspects of the creative community. And because we are coming from the NAGB, we are kind of, all of our shows stem from things going on there. And most people know that we have a very successful exhibition up at the gallery now called As We Knew Him. It's a tribute to Jackson Burnside. It's one family's Junkanoo group's tribute to Jackson Burnside. Their Boxing Day parade was a tribute entirely to Jackson Burnside. So I'm here today. We're going to be talking about the creative community as it was defined by Jackson and also by other people. I'm here with my co-host, Ashley Knowles. She's a curatorial assistant at the NAGB.
Hello.
Thank you for being here with us, Ashley. And we have a very, very special guest with us this evening. We have Pam Burnside.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for coming, Pam. When you have big people like Jackson's such a big cultural icon, it's difficult somehow to kind of humanize that. And Pam has been with us and helped us curate the exhibition and do different things for the show the entire time. And we've been so grateful to her and Orchid and Ebony for kind of putting parts of that exhibition together for us, and we're very, very appreciative of that. But we're also very, very grateful that she's here with us this evening so we could talk a little bit about this creative community. And one of the things, I'm an artist, and I've been an artist for 20 years in the country, and Jackson Burnside, along with his colleagues, Stan, his brother, and Antonius Roberts, and Brett Malone, and Max Taylor, and all these guys have always been very, very encouraging to me. When I was 20 years old, they were very, very encouraging and really pushed me in the direction that I thought that I could actually make a life out of being a visual person in this country, and I'm very, very appreciative for that. And I think it's our responsibility to kind of move that forward. And one of the things, I think, let's be honest, one of the dynamics that we spoke about that is unique to the NAGB or unique to this particular show that we have, the Jackson Burnside show, is that we've never had any Junkanoo in the NAGB before at all. Since 2003, we've never had anything related to Junkanoo in the gallery, apart from paintings that kind of depicted in various configurations. But we never touched it, because Junkanoo is a huge thing. Junkanoo identifies a lot of, I think, what we understand Bahamian culture to be. It defines almost our culture, but because it's so big, I think when things are so big and so accepted, even on a kind of subconscious level, we have to also negotiate the idea that there's some opposition to Junkanoo. Sometimes, as attracted to Junkanoo as people are equally not attracted. And this is one of the interesting things that brings us to the first point. This first segment, we're going to be talking about what it means to be a Junkanoo. And I thought that Jackson Burnside had beautiful kind of insight into that, because I was an artist that never really felt like I was a part of Junkanoo. I helped here and there, do some carving, this, that, and the next thing, but I never really rushed. I never really designed costumes or was ever really a part of that conversation. But somehow, through my friendship with Jackson Burnside, even though I'd never been on Bay Street, not once to rush. I think maybe once when I was 7 years old, my mother configured something for me to go downtown to rush, and I don't even know what happened. But since then, I've never really had any involvement. But somehow, Jackson Burnside makes me feel like I'm also a Junkanoo. I'm also a part of this creative community. So can Junkanoo be bigger than Bay Street? One of the things that he said that was very, very moving and touching to me is he said, he didn't say this to me, this was a quote at large, or quote, I don't know, maybe Pam might be able to know specifically the context of how he said this, but he said that, winning on Bay Street was one thing, but the most important thing was to win in the community. So no matter if your group went to Bay Street and you came fourth or you didn't even make the cut, it was more important. It was more important to be to have a relevance in your community to win in your community than to win on Bay Street, because winning on Bay Street was great, but it came and went. You know, there was something about that was, it was about that moment, and then it goes. And we know people like to argue about who won and the votes weren't right and they didn't count the votes and some of them got lost and blah blah blah. It could get, you know, it gets like politics. We're not, artists aren't really into politics, even in this day and time right now, right? So Jackson says it's more important to win in the community than it is to win on Bay Street. So I have two questions, and I'm going to throw these out to either Pam, because Pam might be able to bring to this, or Ashley, because Ashley brings a lot of insight to us as well. What does it actually mean to be a Junkanoo?
Well, I think for Jackson, he was in Junkanoo since he was a young boy. Having lived on the Fort Hill, he always talked about his first time on Bay Street. His mom really didn't allow him to rush, so they could only sort of stand on the side and watch it. But he was able to go out with one of his friends who his mom trusted to take him to Bay Street, and he was all excited that day, and come to find out when it was time to go, apparently his friend had fallen asleep, so he never did get out that day. But anyhow, he came back and he rushed first as a Junkanoo, as a scrapper, and then he got into the Saxons, and he was there for many years before they left and formed one family. And the main reason for them forming one family was, like as you said, to be a community group.